Hey folks, so this involves vintage air on a C3 Corvette. This is the 71 system. I think it's a Gen 4 vintage air without AC car install. I want to show you something that I'm gonna admit to being a bonehead, but then here's a solution. So this is the control panel. This is the back of the whole plate, obviously. And I was having a hell of a time mounting this thing. I was putting in like screws and making little clips and putting in clips and trying to hold this thing. I was like, this doesn't seem right. You know, it's really hard to get this thing in. So it was mounted, properly. And then I realized, because I thought, well, there's got to be a reason they designed it this way. And the reason is you need to put this plate back in. This is the old control plate, but I'm not using the vacuum. The new system is totally different than the old system. The old system, you use vacuum tubes to control the vents. I suppose you could leave some of that in place. I'm not really using the vacuum controlled side vent system, so I'm not using these levers at all. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point of this video is to let you know that you need to mount the controller into this plate, and then this plate sits in the top part of the center console frame, and then you can not only mount this, you mount it like this would be like this, and you've got three bolt holes. So you bolt the control panel into this plate, and then this plate really becomes part of this overall plate, so that you can remove I think you can remove the whole thing. Oh, maybe not. See, that's an issue. I guess you'd have to unscrew those. All right, well, I need to see. I don't know. I think you can unscrew this whole top plate, because this thing actually sits under it, right, from the top. So yeah, so you could unbolt it, I think, and then everything will come out together on the top. So I'm going to modify this, though. Obviously, I'm not using any of this. I did glue in, which I might have to take out now. I glued in these. I just blocked the old controls off with some pieces of polished aluminum, which I think look great, but I might have to take those out now to install this. But anyway, the point of this video is to let you know that to mount the vintage air control panel or control sub panel, you need to mount this frame. You need to keep this frame in, and then whether or not you're going to use these side, control arms, whatever, that's up to you. But I am going to hack this thing apart a little bit, and then I'm going to pull this stuff out and remount it, and then hopefully we'll be happy with that. All right, you guys, I cut off the unneeded portions of this bracket. I also painted it with a little bit of header paint, just cleaned it up. So this fits over here, fits on there like that. It also will stay over here, and I had to make a couple cuts because this is a replacement piece. This whole center console piece is not original, and so I made a couple cuts in there, and this will sit here, and then this controller will, not that way, but this way. I'll show you how it lines up. See, there's top and bottom and side, and we have top. The bottom is just a tab to keep it in place, and then the side over here gets a screw. So I need to find the right screws for that. I'm not sure. Obviously, it needs to be pretty flat, and I'm not sure exactly what I want to put there. But then this entire plate, then this will go like that on top of it, and that'll be that. So I can take this plate out in the future, right? Work on it, get access to this center area, and this will stay in if I wanted to, and then if I want to pull it out, I just pull this plate out. So that'll work pretty well. The last thing I'm going to do real quick, and this is a little risky, but I want to show you the label, or the plate that they stick on. It's a sticker, and it's not put on very well. This is from the factory, and it's hanging out. It's hanging over the edge, and as a result, it doesn't really fit into this space really well. It kind of fits in, but then it hits down here. You can see where it's bent. And so because I'm detail oriented, I want to move that up. So I'm going to try to, first I'm just going to apply a little bit of heat gun, and we'll see. I might ruin it and I might need to order another one, but right now I think if I apply a little bit of heat gun to this, I can lift it. I'm going to try to lift it with this blade, get under there, wherever. I'm not going to do it on camera because I want both of my hands, but I'm going to try to get this blade to go under, and then I'll just reposition this, and then we should be good to go. That did not go well. I heated it up and I tried to get this blade under there, and you can see the result. I dented this a little bit and I cut myself. So don't do that. We're going to move on and put these little knobs back on. These just press on, by the way, and pull off. And maybe someday I kind of want to do my own plate here. So I might have something done, maybe in aluminum or something that doesn't look so commercial, like vintage air. So yeah, but for now we're gonna move forward with this. I have to find the right size screws for that, get this thing kind of put together, and I'm just gonna move forward with that. Did I mention to you guys that I took these out? Yeah, so these are like the little metal pieces that I put in, which I liked a lot, but they can't really sit in there right now. There's not room for all this stuff. So I'm just going to go with just going to have holes for right now. I might plug them later, but I'm going to live with this. I really just have to get the car together. And then I had to take this piece off also, because it's hard to get these things meshed together. So I'm going to clean this up a little, and I'll get it together as much as I can, and I'll show you. All right, guys, this is about as good as I can do right now. I just attached the controller, the vintage air control panel, to the bracket with the 2 screws here, top and side, and then the bottom is just a tab. And I raised it a little bit because it was a little low in the front, and I raised it a little bit with some tape under there, like 3 layers of Gorilla Tape. And I'm going to put this together and wrestle it together as best I can. The next step is just to put this top on, and this is going to go right over like that. I got to go get the screws. I'm going to screw it down, and I'll show you what it looks like. I was putting the shifter boot back in. I want to show you guys why it takes so long to do projects, and I'm just going to use this as an example, but this is a replacement shifter boot. I want you to see how far off the holes are. I mean, this isn't rocket science. It shouldn't be that hard to just get the holes in the right spot. It's not a big secret, but come on, look at this. I mean, here, let me line up this one. Look how far over this is. I mean, it's really not even close. It's just pretty horrible. So I'm going to re-drill the holes in this just to widen them a little so I can get the screws in, because the problem is you put the screws in from this side over here, and if the holes are off like this, then the screws end up going in super crooked. They just go in like at an angle like that, you know, or whatever, and it just looks horrible. So again, you know, we're left to deal with this stuff. I'm going to just make this a little wider, and we'll move on. Okay. This is what I have. I was able to get the shifter boot screws in really nicely, I think, after a little bit of fiddling. That's not really the subject of this video, but just a little extra. These are all tight. This thing is pretty well put together now. Vintage air fitment, I don't know, you guys. It's not great. There's a gap around the driver's side that is kind of big. I don't know. I mean, it's not like that on this side. That looks good. But then the whole thing is kind of low. You can see up here, there's a big gap. And we know from earlier that this sticker that they put on was off center. So that's just another issue. Let me show you the back. Here's what we have going over here. I'm using these clips for the four corners, just like that. These do clear, this metal part right here clears barely, but it does clear. And then there's a little bit right here. You have to make sure the plastic clears on that side. Yeah, that's as tight as it's going to get. So if there, if there is a little bit of a fitment issue, I mean, it could possibly be just the fact that this plate is old and maybe it's bent a little. So I don't want to blame everything on the vintage air. But let me see. Yeah, I mean, everything is tight, everything's in, and the good thing is after I put this plate in, now, as I mentioned earlier, I can take these four screws out and I can lift this entire plate up and everything will come out except for this, this controller. And the benefit to me is that I can get under there and work with, the fuses or the wires or things without having to take this whole center console out. Okay, this is the final product. However, it's not, because after I put this together, you guys, I noticed something strange, and that is the hot cold slider became jammed somehow, and it feels mushy and it won't move. Now, I want to say right away, to the Vintage Air credit, I just got a phone call from them. I sent them an email and I said, hey, this thing is jammed. I don't know what's going on. They're sending me a replacement control panel, which is awesome because that'll get fixed as well. So thumbs up for Vintage Air customer service. Thankfully, I bought this almost 3 years ago, but about 2 years and 6 months, still under warranty. So even though I haven't installed it, I'm going to get a replacement panel. But this is what it looks like. I'm waiting on some fuses, and I'm going to pop the fuses in, in the space in my fuse blocks before I install this whole thing. So the next time you see this, hopefully it'll be in the car. But that's the update. Vintage Air gets a gold star. And give me a gold star and a thumb up if you guys like this content. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.